you're well, and I hope that you had an amazing day. All right, so we are going to start with our lesson today. So it is a grade 6 English lesson on prepositions, right? And we are going to start, right? All right, so before we start our lesson, you are going to the A plus students .ca. Once you've clicked on aplusstudents.ca, you are going to log in with your username as well as your password. All right, so once you've logged in with your username as well as your password, you're going to select the subject of language arts. All right, so once you've logged in Okay, so we've logged in with our with our username as well as our password. We chose the subject of language arts, and now we are clicking on grade 6. All right, so once we are within the grade 6, we are going to scroll down up until we get the chapter of prepositions. Because prepositions is our subject of focus or our chapter of focus for tonight. So we're going to click on the chapter of prepositions. All right, so within the subject of prepositions, the lessons that we are going to focus on today is identifying prepositions and their objects, and identifying prepositional phrases, right? So that is going to be the lessons for today. All right, so we're going into the first lesson, which is to identify prepositions. All right, so before we identify prepositions, a preposition is a connecting word, right? And it comes before a noun, so it comes before a noun, or it comes before a pronoun, right? So a preposition is a connecting word that comes before a noun or pronoun, and it connects it to the rest of the sentence, right? So once again, a preposition is a connecting word that comes before a noun or it comes before a pronoun and it connects it to the rest of the sentence. So the noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition, we call that the object of the preposition, right? So remember that a preposition comes before a noun or pronoun, right? And it connects it to the rest of the sentence. And then the noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition, we call that the object of the preposition. All right. So I will call you after dinner, right? So an example, I will call you after dinner, right? So after is the preposition and it connects the object, right? Which is basically dinner to the rest of the sentence, right? So remember we said the word or the pronoun or noun that comes after the preposition, right? Which is basically the noun or pronoun. We call that that connects it to the rest of the sentence. We walked across the wet grass. So across, right? The word across is the preposition, right? And the noun is grass. The noun is grass, which means that the noun grass is the object of the preposition. So in this case, the preposition across connects the object, which is grass, to the rest of the sentence. All right. So most of the prepositions, right, it either tells us about time, it tells us about place, or it tells us about movement. But then we will find some that do not, right? For example, time. I will call you after dinner, right? So basically, it's like asking yourself when. So when are you going to call the person? And then after is it tells us about the preposition of time. It tells us when. Dinner is the object and it connects it to the rest of the sentence, right? Then place, right? Preposition of place. The sunglasses on the table are mine. The sunglasses on the table are mine, right? So place, it is like asking yourself where, right? So where doesn't specifically have to be a direct, you don't have to be direct and be like table or so on. You can be like on, under, right? So in this case, it is on. So the preposition that indicates place is on because the sunglasses, it's laying on the table, right? Table, which is the object, right? And the preposition on, it connects the object, which is table, to the rest of the sentence. Then we also have preposition of movement. Preposition of movement, right? And movement, we walked across the wet grass. We walked across the wet grass, right? So across is the preposition, the object is grass, and in this case, the preposition across connects the object grass to the rest of the sentence. And remember, we said most prepositions, it either tells us about time, it tells us about place, or it tells us about movement, but some do not, right? And for example, other. Did you read the book about wolves, right? So about is the preposition, right? And it connects the object, which is wolves, to the rest of the sentence, right? All right. So then we have some of our common prepositions, right? And some of the common or most used prepositions that we mainly know of or that we mainly use, sometimes we even use it within our everyday life, but of course it's not understood um, within a sentence, right? For example, so some of our common prepositions are about, it is above, across, after, along, around, at, behind, below, beside, by, down, during, for, from, in, inside, into, near, of, on, outside, over, through, to, under, up, and with. So those are some of our common prepositions that we mainly use either within sentences, that we use whenever we talk, right? Conversations, when identifying something, wanting to pinpoint to something, right? So we mainly use those common prepositions, right? And these common prepositions either tells us about time, it either tells us about place, it tells us about movement, or just other, right? All right. So if we go up, we need to select one preposition, right, within the sentence. Move the garbage cans across the alley, right? So we need to choose the correct preposition within this sentence. So move the garbage cans across the alley. So we are going to identify or underline the correct preposition within that sentence. All right, so if we were to choose the correct preposition within the sentence, then we will choose the preposition which is across, right? And it shows us movement, right? So across is the preposition, right? So I'm going to say preposition, and the preposition is across, right? So across is the preposition. And our object within the sentence is alley. So object is alley, which means that our preposition across, it connects the object, which is alley, to the rest of the sentence, right? Which means that we need to move the garbage can across the alley. All right, so we need to select one preposition within the sentence. So we have a preposition that is not even a preposition, we have a word that is already in bold, right? And if you look at that word some, do you think some is a preposition? Remember, it either tells us time, place, movement, or just other. You can even look at the common prepositions to see if some is one of our prepositions within that sentence, or if you can identify another word within a sentence. All right, so if we look at our sentence, shall we string some flowers along the aisle? So some is not a preposition, right? But along is a preposition. So we can say that the preposition within the sentence, preposition is along. So a preposition is along. And if we were to identify our object, remember we said that the object, it is a noun that comes after the preposition, right? So the object is aisle. So the object aisle, all right, so in this case, it means that shall we string some flowers along the aisle? So along being the preposition, which connects, right? Which connects the object, which is aisle, to the rest of the sentence. All right, we're going to the next one. Do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees? Do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees? We need to choose the correct preposition within that sentence. Do you think that usually is a preposition? Or do you think that you can identify another preposition within that sentence? So, do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees? All right, so if we were to choose our correct preposition, then we can say that it is above, right? It is above, and that is our preposition. All right. Oh, so above is a preposition and it connects our object, right? Because it says, do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees, right? Degrees, meaning, you know, we are specifically talking about the degrees. So, which means that degree is our object. So, above, which is the preposition, connects the object degree to the rest of the sentence. All right. So, we're going to do a test on identifying prepositions. We need to select one preposition, right? Do you hear those loud noises outside the auditorium? We need to choose the correct preposition, which is either outside or noises. So we need to choose the correct preposition, which is either outside or it is noises. All right, so if we were to choose the correct preposition within that sentence, then we will choose the correct preposition, which is outside, right? And outside being the preposition which connects the object, which is auditorium, to the rest of the sentence. So if you have outside, then well done. All right, then we're going on to the next one. Do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees? So do you usually set the thermostat above 70 degrees? We need to select the correct preposition, one preposition within that sentence. All right, so if we were to choose the correct preposition within that sentence, then we can choose above, right? So above is the preposition that connects the object, which is degrees, to the rest of the sentence. So above, that means that you are correct. Temperatures this month have been below average. Temperatures this month have been below average. So we need to choose the correct preposition. All right, and if we choose the correct preposition, then we can choose below, right? So temperatures this month have been below average. So below is a preposition that connects the object average to the rest of the sentence. All right, so now we are going back to our lessons, right? And we um, did our first lesson on identifying prepositions. And we said that you do get prepositions either of time, place, right? Or even movement. And some are just other, right? So now we're going on to identifying prepositions and their objects, right? And we say that an object, it is the noun or the pronoun that comes after the preposition, right? And that is actually the object of the preposition. So just to recap on prepositions, right? We say that a preposition is a connecting word, right? It comes before a noun or it comes before a pronoun and it connects it to the rest of the sentence. So which means that the preposition, it connects the noun or pronoun to the rest of the sentence. And the noun or the pronoun, we call that the object of the preposition, right? So that noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition is called the object of preposition. All right. We then have, and most of our prepositions, right, it tells us about time, either tells us about place, or it tells us about movement, but some do not, right? And if we look at our examples over here, right, like time, I will call you after dinner, right? It is like asking when. So it's like asking someone, when are you going to call me, right? So when are you going to call me? After dinner, right? So after being the preposition which tells us about time. The sunglasses on the table are mine, right? So it's like asking where? Where are the sunglasses? So where? It's on the table and it tells us the place. Tells us where the sunglasses are. It is on the table, right? Table being the object. Movement, right? We walked across the wet grass. Across, right? Being the movement and telling us or connecting the object which is grass to the rest of the sentence. And then we also have other, right? Other being, did you read the book about wolves? So, about being the preposition and connecting the object, which is wolves, to the rest of the sentence. All right, let us look at this one. Yeah, it says select the noun or pronoun that is the object of the preposition, right? So, yeah, we now need to select the noun or the pronoun, right? The skilled snowboarder soared through the air. We need to select the noun within that sentence or the pronoun. So before we select the noun or the pronoun, right, if we were to select the preposition, then we would say it is through, right? So through being the preposition. And we said that usually the noun or pronoun, it comes after the preposition. Yeah, the noun or pronoun that it comes after the preposition and that noun or pronoun that come after the preposition, we call that the object of the preposition. So if we were to select the object of the preposition, then we would say that the object is air, right? So air being the object, right? So the preposition, which is through, it connects the object, which is air, to the rest of the sentence. So air. So here they said that we need to select the noun or pronoun that is the object of the preposition, and air is the object of the preposition, right? All right. We should hang Hugo's photo over the mantle. We should hang Hugo's photo over the mantle. We need to select the noun or pronoun, which is the object of the preposition within the sentence. So we basically need to identify the object of the preposition within the sentence. But to make things a bit easier, we are going to identify both preposition as well as the object of preposition. All right, so we are going to choose the preposition which is over. Sentence says we should hang Hugo's photo over the mantle, right? So our preposition, I'm going to put P for preposition, over the mantle. So we can choose mantle being the object, right? So mantle being the object. So the preposition, which is over, it connects the noun, which is mantle, to the rest of the sentence. Vicky watched the salmon swim up the river. So Vicky watched the salmon swim up the river. We need to choose the preposition. So here they say select the preposition. All right, so if we choose the preposition, then we can say it is up, right? So up being the preposition, we're going to say P for preposition. And if we were to choose our object of the preposition, we can say it is river. And we're going to say O for object of preposition, right? Which means that in the sentence, Vicky watched the salmon swim up the river, then we have identified the preposition, which is up. And the preposition up, it connects the object river to the rest of the sentence. All right. All right, so that is identifying prepositions and their object. And remember, we said the object is a noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition, right? So the preposition, it is just the connecting word that connects the object to the rest of the sentence. So the object being the noun. Okay, so we're going to do the test. We need to select the preposition. The skilled snowboarder soared through the air. The skilled snowboarder soared through the air. We need to choose the correct preposition. Is it through or the snowboarder being the preposition? We need to select the preposition. Is through the preposition or snowboarder? All right, so if we were to select our preposition, then we will say through is our preposition, which connects our object, which is air, to the rest of the sentence. So if you have that, then well done. All right, so we need to select the preposition. We should hang Hugo's photo over the mantle. So we should hang Hugo's photo over the mantle. We need to either choose between hang or over. By selecting the correct preposition. All right, so if we choose the correct preposition within that sentence, we will choose over. Right, so over is a preposition that tells us about the noun or the object mental, and it connects it to the rest of the sentence. We need to select the preposition. The mystery novel will surely appeal to him. So the mystery novel will surely appeal to him. So is it to or mystery? We need to select the preposition within the sentence. Is it to or mystery? That mystery novel will surely appeal to him. All right, so if we were to choose the preposition within the sentence, right, then we will choose the preposition which is to, and it connects him being the object to the rest of the sentence. Never be afraid of failure. Never be afraid of failure. We need to choose the correct preposition, which is either to, of, or be, right? Of or be. We need to select the correct preposition within the sentence. Is it of or be? And what does it connect to the rest of the sentence? All right, so we will choose the preposition of, right? Which connects the word or the object failure to the rest of the sentence. All right, so far we have identified prepositions. We have also identified prepositions as well as their objects, right? And we said that the object, it is the noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition, right? And we call that the object of preposition. And our preposition, it connects the object to the rest of the sentence. So before we go on to identify prepositional phrases, we are going to do an activity on prepositions, right? And we say that preposition is a connecting word and it usually comes before a noun or pronoun, right? And it connects it to the rest of the sentence. And remember, we said that the noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition, we call that the object of preposition. All right, so we're going to do the first activity, right? We need to use the correct preposition from the word bank to complete each sentence. Write the correct preposition on the blank lines, right? So we are going to choose the correct preposition within the bank, the word bank. And the prepositions within the word bank is in, off, above, near, to, of, behind, with, beside, below, right? So we are not going to do all 10, we're just going to do a few of the 10, right? So the balloon flew. Is it in, of, above, near, to, of, behind, with, beside, or below my head? We need to choose one of those prepositions from the word bank. So the balloon flew, we can say above my head because we don't have over, right? All right. The setting the setting sun went. Is it in, off, above, near, to, of, behind, with, beside, or below the horizon? We need to choose the correct one. The setting sun went. So we can then say it went behind the horizon. Oopsie. So behind the horizon. My cat was hiding. Where? My couch. Where? My couch. So we need to say where the cat was hiding. Was it in the couch, off the couch, above the couch, near the couch, to the couch, off the couch, behind the couch, with the couch, beside the couch, or below the couch? So if he is hiding, where do you think he is hiding? All right, so if we choose the correct preposition within that sentence, right, then we will say that my cat was hiding. So I'm not sure if that is in the couch, but we can't really see, or near the couch. Let's just say he was hiding near the couch. Because not behind. My sister was standing where? Me and my mom, right? We already have above, we have near, and we have behind. So we can say that my sister was standing beside me and my mom, right? Beside being the preposition. I went to the grocery store, we can say with my dad, right? With my dad. So those are all prepositions, right? Within those sentences that we identified from the word back. All right, so now if we were to select also the prepositions of place within the sentence, right? And they say the prepositions of place within the sentence, in the sentences, it says the cat, for example, the cat is on the table, which means that on, it tells us about the place that the cat is taking. So as we can see that the cat is on the table, right? In this case, the cat is in the box. And here the cat is under the table, right? So here is on, in, and under. So if we look at the male, right, we need to choose on, in, or under. So is the male on, in, or under, right? We are going to underline. So we can then say that the male or the letter is in the envelope. So in, let's circle it. Where is this little bear or the big bear? Is he on, in, or under? So we can say he's on that little iceberg or ice. Is this in or under? On, in, or under, right? So we can say the chairs are under the umbrella. The eggs are in the basket, right? The submarine, we can either say is under the water or in the water, right? This can be a bit tricky, right? But submarine being under, right? The bird is on the cage. The books are on the shelf, right? The pencils and ruler are in the pencil case. And the sun, right? Is it on, in, or under, right? Unless we say that it's shining in the sky. So those are all prepositions of places, right? And that is different prepositions. And we said prepositions, it is connecting words, right? And preposition, it connects the noun or pronoun to the rest of the sentences. All right, so we're going to do the last lesson, which is to identify prepositional phrases. And we said that a preposition is a connecting word, right? It connects, it comes before a noun or pronoun and it connects it to the rest of the sentence. The noun or pronoun that comes after the preposition is called the object of preposition, right? And the object of preposition, it is the noun or pronoun, and the preposition, it connects the word, it's a connecting word that connects the object, which is the noun or pronoun, to the rest of the sentence. All right, so now we need to identify the prepositional phrases within the sentence. And that means that we need to identify more than one word within a sentence, right? And that is why we call it a phrase. So a prepositional phrase, it is a group of words that starts with the preposition and it ends with the object of the preposition. So it starts with the preposition and then it ends with the object of preposition, right? For example, I will call you after dinner, right? Here it starts with the preposition, which is after, and it ends with the object, which is dinner. The same year, we walked across the wet grass, right? We started with the preposition, which is across, right? And remember, it says, and it ends with the object, which means that it starts with across. Then we need to write this whole phrase, which is across the wet grass, because grass is the object of preposition. All right, so we are going to identify the prepositional phrase within our sentence over here. So it says, write your name and address on the dotted line. So we need to select the four words that make up the prepositional phrase. And remember, we said that the prepositional phrase, it starts with the preposition and it ends with the object of preposition. So if we select the firstly the preposition, then we will say the preposition is on, right? Which means that we are going to start with on the dotted line, this being our prepositional phrase. It starts with the preposition and it ends with the object. All right, we're going on to the next one. We need to select the four words that make up the prepositional phrase. The water in the marble fountain smells horrible. Or the water in that marble fountain smells horrible. All right, so we need to choose the prepositional phrase as well as basically the object of preposition, right? So we see that it starts by the prepositional phrase and it just ends by the object. So if we select our prepositional phrase, then we will say it is in. Then they said it is, there's four words that we need to select, which means, sorry, it is in that marble fountain. Fountain being the object and in being our preposition, right? So the water in that marble fountain smells horrible. Water, not water, in being our preposition, being our noun or object. All right. Colin told a humorous story about himself. So we need to only choose two words, right? Two words, meaning it's only going to be the preposition as well as the object, right, of preposition. So if we were to select the two words starting with our preposition, then we will say our preposition is about, and then our object of preposition is himself, which means that about is the preposition and himself is the object, right? And that is a prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase, it is a group of words that starts with the preposition and it just ends by the object of preposition. So any other word that is either after the object of preposition, right? We do not include that within the phrase, right? Or the words that is in front of the preposition, we do not include that within our phrase, right? The prepositional phrase, it starts with the preposition, right? All the other words in between up until we get to the object of the preposition. All right. Okay, so now we're going to do a test on identifying prepositional phrases. we need to select the four words that make up the prepositional phrase. What lies below the moon's surface? Is it below the moon's surface or lies below the moon's? So we need to select the four words that make up the prepositional phrase. Alright, so if we were to select the prepositional phrase, then we can say it is below the moon's surface, because below being the preposition, surface being the object of preposition. Select two words. Colin told a humorous story about himself. So is it about himself or story about? We need to either select the preposition and the object of preposition, because it's only two words. Is it about himself or story about? All right, so if we choose the prepositional phrase, then we can say about himself, because about being the preposition, himself being the object of preposition. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on prepositions, where we identify prepositions and their objects, as well as identifying prepositional phrases. And we say that preposition, it connects the words, right? And the noun that comes after preposition, we call that the object of preposition. So the preposition, it connects the object, which is the noun or pronoun, to the rest of the sentence. So, grade 6, thank you very much for joining our class or joining the lesson um, on prepositions. Till next time, you should have an amazing evening. Goodbye.